Welcome, no. Well, wait. There it goes. Well, today we got Noah here. He's gonna be telling us, showing us basically juking, what he knows, and stuff like that. Well,
Okay, well, juking, to me, it's usually like short dodging and like trying to get around people. So, like, usually when I juke, it's like really quick movements, like trying to get around somebody. I mean, if somebody like charges at me, I kind of move depending on how they move. I mean, I am an aggressive player, so like sometimes even like just trying to like let's say somebody's coming at me, I'll try and like get around them quickly, like juke to the side, then I can get behind them and like double zip towards them. Like you can only really juke. Juking's like only thing not to run away. Juking's only something that you can do while you're in battle. So
yeah.
you got it. It doesn't work every single time. Like obviously, juking can't be your only way to fight, but it can be like a main way that you have to get around people. It's a real, is it required to play the game? No, but if you want to actually get good, you kind of have to know some level of juking.
Like I
So
went
like
over in the part one. I went over like the basics. You go on left to right, down, up. Trying to avoid
yeah,
getting tagged. Because whenever you come into a joust, you either want to go left or the,
well usually if I joust, like the one thing that I'll usually do is I'll either like quickly dip down and dip back up because most people are gonna they're gonna try and anticipate you going like which side you're gonna go on. So if you can
yeah.
quickly double zip down and double zip back like below them, usually they're not gonna be able to counter that.
Usually I try
Even
to
just like
confuse them by just going down,
yeah,
then like going right. I usually
yeah,
dip
but like
down in this,
also
corner hole right here, like where, like near the big thing
yeah,
in the middle.
yeah. Another thing that you gotta kind of know how to do is like how you target out somebody. Like usually, even if it's a 1v1 or a 1v5, you gotta usually what I do is if you gotta kind of keep an eye on everybody. Like you have to put yourself in a position where you can see everybody on the map.
Yeah,
Like
you gotta be
like
having
especially from the start, you
everyone in
gotta have
view.
everybody in your sight. You gotta have
Yeah,
everybody in your sight. So, but I like to, even if I'm focusing on everybody, but I usually will pick out one person that I'm gonna start off with. Usually the person that is most vulnerable or not sticking together with the team. I'll get them. I can stick on them, or I can either keep charging them, but I can get their teammates to go for the revive and then just kind of get chain tags. I gotta get if I can get them to rush me, I can just tag them all. So. So I'll
so
kind of just
so
figure
like
out what works for you.
would you say like you're like a more of an aggressive juker or like a
I mean, I guess that's what I would say I am. I mean, I'm a more aggressive player. Like,
it's like when
you
you go
gotta
into
always know how
jousts, you
to.
go like do you like juke around them like multiple times just to get
Yeah,
the
well,
tag
usually
or
it's not even like just going like left or right or up and down. I try to go around them and try and like if you're come straight at me, like yeah, like I'll
yeah,
try and
I
go
know how
around
to
them, go around behind them. I'll try and
yeah.
like just trying to get around them is mainly the big deal because you could go just right and then they could follow right next to you and you'll get tagged. But if you go like curve over them and then like around them, or quickly go around them and then zip back towards them, they're not going to be able to anticipate that as much.
Yeah, I
Even just
can
being
never
able to
counter
dodge
it.
out of the way and then come back really quick. Like let's say you use one of your zips, then you guys like get away from each other. You're just getting back to the battle really quickly and not running away. The only time you ever run is if you're out of zips. Or there's like
Yeah,
20 seconds of the game left and you're in the lead by one. That's like the only time I'd ever accept you running. And
yeah,
even then, if it's a 1v1, that's not even really that acceptable. You always want to be in battle. If you're not in battle, you're trying to save a teammate. You go for saves over tags. That's what I always have to say to any new player.
Especially when your like teammates are down, and you're like pinned in a corner.
Yeah.
You try to get to your nearest teammate.
Yeah, like even if you're not good at juking, which also the juking, I mean, obviously if you like to hook on the walls and like hold on to them, when I juke, I just do a quick zip around them. So I can do it like really quickly. I can just do a quick zip and then, like, I'm not holding on to the walls. I'm just zipping and then letting go. So I can do like a really quick zip and switch directions really quickly. That's the best way to do it.
Like, sometimes I'll hold on to walls whenever I'm trying to get over to the map, like across the map really quickly. Because I'll reel in my line.
Yeah, because I mean you can gain speed with reeling in line. But also another thing that I like to do is, like if you're trying to get the teammates and stuff like that, if you double zip while gliding, you can gain a lot of speed and even like gripping. So if you need to quickly get over to a teammate, you can hold on to walls, grab over to them, and then turn around and tag your enemies and stuff like that if they're following after you. Now, the thing about the radar, I don't think I've actually ever used it competitively, ever. I actually forget about it half the time.
Yeah, you never want to like, I never actually have to look at it and competitively. Like, only time I have to do is like trying to figure out where someone is. But we always try to have like visual, like when everyone is at, especially our teammates. You want to see
it
where
is good if like there's one person left and you're not sure where they are, or if you want to quickly see if somebody's behind you or where the people are on the map if you can't see them. Yeah. It's good, but I don't really use that. I would rather turn around, just keep an eye on everywhere. It is good for certain people. I don't think it's required in everything, but it's
one situation I get put in, and one situation I get put in, and where I have to use the radar is like a 1v5 where everyone is spread out and you don't know who's gonna be, if they're gonna come behind you or in front of you. So you want to keep glimpse to the radar, like left to the radar. You want to see if they're like anyone's behind you or not.
Yeah, it is good to use the radar. It is a helpful tool, especially if you don't even know. Even one thing I noticed is like, if there's like one person left and you have no clue where they are, you can look on the radar and see general direction or see where they are on the map. One thing I think that they need to eventually add is change like the colors, like you can see your teammates on the radar, and then you'll see the enemies on a different color. But I think you can't really tell who's who. It could be a teammate behind you or an enemy.
Like, for the like, let's say you're blue team and you're like your teammates are blue. It could show up blue on the radar and you're in red for like the opposite team.
Yeah, that's
like
what
for like a red for like red, blue for blue.
Yeah. I'm just saying, me personally, I don't use it too much, but it can be helpful if you want to just have a generally where people are. If you don't want to keep an eye on everybody at once, or if you can't, and they're all spread out. Now, if there's a team that's stuck together, as I said, I like to target out one of the players in the group and try and draw them out. If it's doing anything, just trying to draw them out, like going for them, rushing in, then like you can pull back and then pull back in. And as long as you're able to get, because once one person's down on your team, if it's a 3v3, if you play it right, you've already won.
Yeah. Let's say you get like the double tag onto like two of the people on the teammates, and you want to camp, like at least one person needs to camp them, and then go for a 2v1 for the last guy. That would be a good like play for it to go to. But you also gotta be careful, because like depending who it is, if they're a really good player, you want to like especially be careful around them.
Yeah, but
like if they're like, if you know you can tag them, you can like go ahead, easily tag them. But like, it's just whoever you're facing.
It all depends on the situation. Every situation's different.
Analyzing is something you gotta do, is like looking around the field, like if you have frozen teammates,
especially like if you know the opponent that you're going up against, especially use that to your advantage. And also one thing, like like my strategy is always changing, so like my strategy never stays the same. Like if you do the same thing every round, a good player is gonna catch on to it. I like to change up my moves, like maybe a few rounds, even simple things as like if you're a captain of a team, you tell them to go right side, next round go left side, or next round go middle and like cut to the right. Like don't do the same thing over and over again, because eventually they're
Yeah,
gonna find out a way to get you.
I
Even
try
just
not to
that
do the
simple
same
stuff.
thing, but like yeah, it's usually a habit for me like to do the same thing in like public matches or something
Yeah,
like that.
I've played with you enough to know that like you sometimes you do that, but I mean I do that sometimes too. I'm just saying like you
But like in
wanna like even
yeah,
for newer players and stuff like that, you wanna change it up. Like even if you're like good with your strategy, if you're playing against the same people over and over again, just during that match, it doesn't have to be a change in like how you play, just like what direction you go, where you move your team to, who you tag first. Just those kind of things. I mean, I know you can't control everything, and like, let's say they're all already pushing left side, and you went right, go right again, do whatever is best based on what they do. I like to go based off of what the enemy team does, but also, you also want to be the first to react. So, you don't always want to wait on them, you want to just know generally, like, watch, if you're keeping an eye on somebody, you'll know generally where they're gonna go next. You gotta kind of anticipate that and kind of play off of that. So like you can't wait for them. You gotta kind of play based off where you think that they're gonna go and stuff like that. Which sometimes that can be a gamble, but sometimes it can also give you the win.
yeah, we're predicting, you know, where they're gonna go,
Yeah.
what they're gonna do. But you can never like
Even
predict.
if
You
you're
can,
not.
you know,
Yeah. You don't always have to predict. You can also kind of like. You want to keep your distance from somebody if you're trying to predict what they're gonna do. Don't I don't like to like a lot of the times just using your jets for movement. I'll just kind of watch somebody. I'll wait for them to move towards me. I'll move away from them and just kind of watch how they play. And then eventually I'll randomly at a random time just charge in, do a few jukes and stuff like that, and I'll end up getting them. It's you got to have the quick reaction and prediction. It's kind of required to if you really want to
good
play
reaction
competitive.
timing also plays well, you know, in how you play.
Yeah.
If you've got a
And
good reaction timing like Joe, for example, then like being aggressive and risky as possible is like one thing you want to do because
yeah,
he
if
does
you can do it,
1v5.
being risky can be a very good thing as long as you're good at it. If you can
You know,
predict somebody pretty well and you know based off how they've been playing the past rounds, I say go for it. Just gonna add practice. Obviously, if you're in a tournament or something like that, you gotta go with you do best. So, if that's not
yeah.
your thing, then don't do it.
Also, a few
Now, another
tips for
thing.
like tournaments. You know, you always want to stick with
Yeah.
your teammates. You never want to be far, you know, away from them. Because if you get
Oh,
picked off from the group, then you might as well the round will be over. Because if they can't get to you quick enough, then you know they the opponents are gonna get that round. Because you always want to stick close or near someone in your group.
Yeah. And just another tip, another thing for movement. Oh, we haven't been talking too much about that. I think you did that. You talked a little bit about that in your last video, but
I think
um,
you know, different movements you can do.
yeah, when I like doing quick zips and stuff like that, if you're gonna do a really quick zips like how I do it, like not holding onto walls and stuff like that, you don't gain as much momentum doing that. So what I like to do is I'll glide while doing that. Like anytime I zip, I'll put out my arms. You gotta put like a T-pose type thing, and you'll glide. You'll just gain momentum doing that. So if you eventually do that, you can keep your max speed while doing the quick zips.
Yeah.
So.
You quickly zip. Man, I try I don't know what like when like it was a couple games like I think it was yesterday like a couple games that you always caught up to me really quick because you would like glide in and
Yeah.
zip.
Yeah,
So I
well,
kept
because what
doing
you would do is
double
you
quick
would turn
zips.
around. Yeah, what you would do is you would turn around, but you would do like you would do a quick turnaround, but I would be able to do is I would double zip while gliding, and I'd do a really quick zip right as you turn, and I would be able to catch up to you at the right moment, and I'd be able to time my shot perfectly to hit you. Even, like, one thing with, like, pre-shotting, like, if you're gonna pre-shot, you have to know what you're doing. Like, just
Like
shooting in front
pre-fire.
of them, it can easily be dodged. I
What do you
don't
do?
pre-fire usually. That's not what I do too much. The only time I'll do that is if somebody's behind me and I can quickly turn around, shoot right before I'm next to them. They'll usually ram right into it. But if you're in like an active battle, pre-firing's not the thing. I like to more time shots. Like when you see them get close enough within range, take your shot. Make sure that your aim is on point, but if they're within range, it's good taking a shot. It only takes like a few seconds for your shot to get back. Obviously, if you're in a really intense battle, you can get out of battle really quick to gain back your shot, but then go right back in. Because I don't like to run. I like to keep pressure on the enemies.
Yeah. Especially if like a point up, like you're like or point up or several points up. You know, you rather be. Let's say like you're 3 points up. You always want to keep the pressure on them. All you know.
Yeah.
Especially like if you're down, you know, you want to keep the pressure on your opponents.
Yeah, well, what I usually say, if like you're in the lead by 2 or more, you don't get at that point. You wait for them to attack, because once you're 2 ahead, you can take 2 losses without losing. That's a pretty good. You're pretty good at that point, because like, and if you're still, even if you're better than the enemy, you can still predict what they're gonna do and just play off of, but you wait for them to get to you instead of you going towards them. Like, even though I'm an aggressive player, if I'm in the lead by 2 or 3, I'm not gonna rush them. I'm gonna wait for them to get to me and then fight based off of how they do it. If that means juking around them and then quickly tagging them, or getting their teammate and then sitting on the body. Everybody calls it puppy guarding, but if you have to sit on the bodies.
It's called camping.
So the one thing, as soon as
camping the body. Like, several people call it
if
different things.
you have to guard it. If you get somebody, usually I'll have one teammate. If I'm like a captain, or even just normal player, sit on that body. Have one person on that body, somebody who's good at defending, and I would say like don't go completely across the map from them. Just kind of stick near them, but you can still go off and kind of fight somebody. Just stay in that general area. Have most of your team on that guy, especially if you're in the lead. Now, if you're losing, just have one person on the body, and the other 2 can go fight the other players.
I don't know if we've covered everything, but like, if you have any.
I mean, is there really
you did watch the last video? Like, was there anything I didn't cover that you think I should have?
Let me think. I mean, you got the general most from what I watched. You got the general most of it. You got mobility, kind of the pre-firing and how you should be shooting people, targeting on players and stuff like that. You did a pretty good job in that one. I mean, there's not really too much more. This game has infinite possibilities, so you can kind of find your... You gotta find the strategy that's right for you. You can't just listen to us and do exactly what we do. You gotta kind of put it together. You kind of gain strategy over time, and you make your own playstyle. Every player has their own playstyle.
Of course, we can give like tips out, you know, to improve, but you always want to come
like
up
you
with
can
your
kind
own
of
strategy.
Like, I'll tell you, when I was new to the game and stuff like that, like there were other players like Zonzacon, Brick. Even you had joined the game before me. I took some of my strategy from you. Yeah. So I mean,
so I helped you like a good bit, but then over time you developed your own strategies and stuff like movements and stuff. Because when I first met you, you were doing 1v5s.
We'll have to redo our 1v1 for a video.
Yeah. Maybe we could do it next time when I upload.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say who won.
I mean, it's pretty obvious. Like, I'm not gonna say like it was me, but Noah is better at things than me.
Yeah, I do 1v1s though, so.
Because I'm not very good at 1v1ing, you know. Like
you're not bad at them, but I've definitely practiced that a lot more than you.
Yeah.
That's like the main thing I targeted, like, especially even when I first started the game, I would just ask random people to 1v1 me. And I'd usually smoke them.
Yeah. Well, lately, I've been like doing 1v3s, 1v4s, and you know, I'd rather like. It's been a long time since I actually did like competitive team play, and I'm a rather team player who like saves people, targets. You know, I'm
Yeah,
very
that's the one thing
strategic.
I've worked on. I used to be really bad at saves, but like, now I'm good because I put juking to help me when I'm like saving somebody. Like I'll juke around people just to get to my teammate. That really helps me. So I've actually became really good at actually saving my teammates. You're probably better at that though. You've always been really good at just getting to your teammates quick enough. Like half the time, like I'll tag your teammate will be back up within a second. You just, as soon as your teammate's down, go for him. Go for whoever it is.
It doesn't
You gotta
matter
get
who
there
it
as
is. You
soon as
always want to
possible.
go get like
I
your
mean,
team up.
obviously, if it's like a random player that's like, and like you can beat it. Like let's say it's a 2v1, your teammate's down across the map, and there would be nope, and you can get this player. That's like the only exception I'll take
Yeah.
for that. But even then, if he's right next to you, just save him and get the last player, or however
Yeah.
many players are left. I mean, I think that's pretty much all right now.
Yeah. How
We can.
Let me ask you one question. Like, how do you feel like about like if like you know the vertical shift that introduced like people that want to learn? You know, they got together like 3-person per team, and you train a team. You know, you be a coach or something like that. Like, would you actually want to coach like a team of rookies or beginners?
That's what I'm trying to do.
Or like you be the coach and like you have like a team. Or you could be like a part of the team, you know. If you only have 2, you could be part of the team. If there's 3, you know, you could just be the coach for the team.
Yeah, I mean, I even had to do that for the rally. I had 2 newer players on my team, and we got second place, so.
Yeah, this upcoming rally, because I'm on the ascendant.
I'm not gonna be able to make it, so.
Yeah. But like last time we had like I had Merrick and Beastlayer, and we didn't, you know, do very good at. Okay, do very good because the team play was very awful. We didn't stick close to each other. Merrick was always running off.
Yeah, I mean, you guys did in the 3v3 tournament. I think it was. You guys got second place in that. I got like 4th. I mean, did I have the best team? No, I had to kind of carry my team, but
You know,
I had to be the captain because we were missing a player, so we had to get a sub.
yeah. Well, that, I'm guessing that'll be all for this video. I think we
Yeah, I mean,
went over most of this
I don't know what
general
you're
stuff, but
gonna
like
do if you'll.
if
Maybe in the future you can make like part 3 or something like that,
you
or
know,
like in the future, like
like
if you
if any
become
of the
better or something
viewers
like that.
would like to comment
Or want to
anything
know
we
something?
want to go over, like if you want to know anything, just comment.
Make like
You
a
know, just
short
make a
video,
comment.
like a really short video, just like answering some of the questions. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll answer. Yeah, definitely answer. Like and give us feedback and see how well you know we gave good answers. You know, especially comment if you want to learn anything. We'll always be. Well, I'll always be online, but Noah casual will be online once a day or so. Yeah. Make sure to like the video.
Mhm.